So, dear students, in this video we would be covering the second part of top 60 MCQs. The topic is Advent of Europeans in India. So, in part 1 we have already discussed about Portuguese. So, who are the first Europeans to come to India? Portuguese. After them came Dutch, and after them came Danish. Danish means from Denmark. So we have discussed MCQs related to these three colonial powers in part 1. So in part 2 basically we would be discussing about English or British and who are the last ones to come? French. So these two remaining colonial powers. So let's have a look at the MCQs. The East India Company was established in which year? So let's see, it was established on 31st December 1600 AD. So it had its headquarter in London. So please also remember the fact that these East India Company, so these local natives of India, the citizens of India used to call it from various names. One of them was John Company. Why? Because the founder of East India Company was John Watts. Date of foundation 31st December 1600. So it had many names in India because local people, for us Hindi speaking Indians, this name was too long, East India Company. So they used to call it John Company, Company Bahadur. Fine. Now second, in 1600 the charter to the English East India Company for monopoly of eastern trade for 15 years was given by whom? Now you see, this is just a company. So this company, what is the purpose of forming English East India Company? Now they want to go to places known as East India. What is East India? Places like India, here is Sri Lanka, then here you have Indonesia, Malaysia. So all these places are known as East India during those times. So now this company wants the government of Britain to give them the permission of monopoly. That means no other British company should be allowed to take its ship to these locations. So that is known as giving charter. So this charter was given for 15 years. By whom? By Queen Elizabeth I. So because the queen of that time was Queen Elizabeth I. Next one, the first British ship to arrive at Indian coasts was. So you see, this is a very controversial question. So but we have referred to the question paper of previous years and the answer keys as well. So there is a conflict. Half of the places you will see Red Dragon, half of the places you will see Hector, but the accepted answer key accepted by the exam takers is Hector. So Hector was the name of the ship on which William Hawkins. So William Hawkins was an employee of East India Company. He was a high ranking employee or high ranking officer, you can say. So he was the first officer who was sent by East India Company to negotiate with the Mughal emperors. So he came to India and he reached Surat. Surat is in Gujarat. So he reached Surat through his ship. So he has come over ocean now. So he reached on 24th August 1608. So the name of his ship was Hector. So if he is the first British to reach India, obviously Hector is the correct answer, not Red Dragon. The representative of East India Company who was the first British to arrive at Mughal court. So we just saw that a person known as William Hawkins arrived at Surat, and then he was taken from there to Agra to meet Mughal Emperor Jahangir, because at that time the Mughal Emperor was Jahangir. So William Hawkins was the first British officer. So when did he come to Surat? 1608. Next, who was the Mughal Emperor when the first EIC means what? East India Company officer William Hawkins arrived at Mughal court. So William Hawkins first came to Surat. He liked Surat very much. Then when he had come to Surat, he had a letter written for Akbar because he had no idea that Akbar had died. So Akbar's son Jahangir had become the new emperor by then. So answer is Jahangir. So he came in 1608. Akbar had died in 1605 December. So he had no idea because the letter was written by his British monarch. So answer is Jahangir. He met Jahangir. British opened their first factory at which place in which year? So they opened their first factory at Surat only, and Surat was the first place where William Hawkins had landed. So he had already recceed that place. He had identified a location and he requested that please, I have seen that location, please allow me to build a factory. So the answer is Surat. Year is 1613. So you will say that William Hawkins came in 1608. Why it took him so much time? See, because Mughal emperors were under influence of Portuguese. So because Portuguese had already come to India much before, they built their first factory in 1500 itself. Fine. They were present in India even before Mughals came. Mughals came to India in 1527, after first battle of Panipat. So the Portuguese influence of Mughal court was too much. So initial few years William Hawkins could not succeed. Finally Jahangir gave him permission in 1613. The location was Surat. When did English ambassador Sir Thomas Roy arrived at Jahangir's court? See, his name is Sir Thomas Roy and he is an English ambassador. He is not sent by East India Company. He is sent by British monarchy. So he is an ambassador. So he arrived at in the year 1614 because William Hawkins was struggling to get much because of Portuguese influence. Because William Hawkins was a small person. He was employee of a company. So now a big person is sent, somebody who is higher in authority. So he is an ambassador to negotiate further with Jahangir. So he arrived at Jahangir's court in 1615, Thomas Roy, and he brought a letter from his king. Battle of Swali, also known as Swali Hole, was fought in the year 1612 between which two colonizing power? Now Swali is a place near Surat. Surat. So as I told you, Portugals, they had influence over Mughal emperors. On the other side were British. So Portugal did not want to allow entry of British in Mughal court. Fine. But Mughals were also fed up of Portuguese because Portuguese were not listening to Mughals. So Mughals found a new friend. Mughals found a new friend in British. So these both powers came together and they fought against Portugal. So we have discussed all this in great detail in our YouTube, Vidya Guru proper courses that we have. So if you are a student of Vidya Guru, you must be aware that we have already discussed all this while we were taking lectures. So answer is British and Mughal, they became friends for some time and they both fought against Portugal. So answer is Portuguese and Britain, they fought at Swali. What was the outcome? See, Swali, you have to remember a few things. Swali is a place near Surat. Year of fight 1612. Location I already told you. What was the result? Company and Mughal victory. That means British and Mughal combined victory. So now Mughals were impressed from British because earlier Mughals were somewhat scared of navy of Portugal. But now their new friend, these British people had superior navy. So now friendship is developing between British and Mughals. Next question. The state which granted the Golden Firman in 1632 to the English to trade freely on the payment of mere 500 pagodas a year as duty. So now British used to negotiate with local kingdoms and they used to fix a particular amount that we will pay you this much per year, in return allow us to do trade freely. So one such Farman known as Golden Firman was issued by Golconda Kingdom. Golden, it will be easy for you to remember. The year was 1632. What was the significance of this Farman? See, British have opened their first factory at Surat in 1613. Sometimes after that they have also opened a factory at Masulipatam, but that factory was closed. But now because of this golden farman, this factory can also be reopened and British can do trade freely in the kingdom of Golconda. So in return they have to pay 500 gold coins, pagodas, per year. Next one, English obtained the lease of Madras in 1639 from the ruler of, as I already told you that British have developed the habit of bargaining the territories, buying out, taking on lease. So in 1639 they leased some land in and around Madras from the kingdom of Chandragiri. So Chandragiri, Tamil Nadu to Vijayanagar. So that was the stretch of this kingdom. So Madras was under their control at that time. So answer is Chandragiri in year 1639. So student, before I proceed any further, I would like to make a request to you that in case if you are preparing for any competitive exams and if you are if you need guidance or if you need to make a full proof preparation for your exam, you can leave all your worries to us, all your preparation blues to us, because we have well designed tailor made courses for each and every exam, prepared by only those faculties who are qualified and who themselves have cracked these exams. Fine. So these are one of the best courses that you can get online. So please do visit our website once. You will come to know in great detail that what all comprises of a particular courses. That means if you subscribe to a particular courses, how many hours of video lectures, how many tests in total, what kind of study material would you be getting in return. So everything is there in great detail. In case you feel like talking to our representatives, so here are the phone numbers, so you can call during any working hours. In case you feel like writing a mail to us, so here is our mail ID as well. So dear student, before I proceed any further, I would also like to request to you that please like, share and subscribe this video. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, because in future we would keep on uploading these kind of MCQ videos so that you never miss a video uploaded by us. So next one, which of the following British commander acquired Madras from the ruler of Chandragiri? So we just saw that in the year 1639 the British have leased or acquired territory around Madras from the kingdom of Chandragiri. So who did this? The name of the officer was Francis Day. Next, which of the following was the first fort built by British in India in 1640-41 AD? So we just now saw that they acquired territory around Madras, and please remember there itself this is the first fort that they built there. So the first fort built by British was at Madras. It was known as Saint Fort George. So in which year it was built? 1640-41. So a few facts. In 1639 you can say Madras was acquired. Not exactly Madras, but territory around Madras was acquired. Fine. So next, what? Who acquired this? You have to know. Francis Day. Francis Day. From whom? From ruler of Chandragiri. Ruler of Chandragiri. These are very oftenly repeated facts. So ruler of Chandragiri. Next, what? They built a fort there in the year 1640-41. So you'll have to remember all this fact. What was the name of that fort? Fort George. Fine. Now let's move to the next one. The land of Bombay was given to the English Prince Charles as dowry by dash in the year dash. Now this is a very interesting episode. So Portuguese have already came to occupy territory of Bombay. Why? Because they have been given that territory by Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. Because Bahadur Shah of Gujarat have asked for protection from Humayun. So he told to Portuguese that you provide me with guns, you provide me with gunpowder. In return, I will give you a few territories. So one of those territory was Bombay. So now Portugal had control of Bombay. Now what happened is that King Charles of England, so he is King Charles of England, he married Princess of Portugal. Her name is Catherine. So very important, you have to remember, Charles of England married Catherine of Portugal. The year was 1661. So in return, many territories that Portuguese held all over the world, they held many territories. So some of those territories were given as dowry, gift of marriage, dowry to the, you can say, groom. Fine. So groom, who is the groom? Charles II of England. So that way Portuguese gave away Bombay to Britishers as part of dowry in the year 1661. So this is the answer. I think it has been repeated, so both would be correct. Who granted the permission to establish the first British factory of Hooghly in Bengal? So slowly, gradually, the British started to expand. So when they reached Bengal, they opened their first factory at a place known as Hooghly. So this is very near to Calcutta. So during that time, there was no Calcutta also. There was no Hooghly, there was no Calcutta. So yeah, there was Hooghly because Hooghly was established by much before by Portuguese. So first British factory of Hooghly was opened in Bengal. For that they have to take permission from Mughals, because Mughals were controlling the Suba of Bengal. So what did Mughals used to do? They had many Subas under their control. So for each Suba they used to appoint a governor. So the question says that which Mughal governor? Answer is Shah Shuja. So Shah Shuja was the governor of Bengal. He allowed the British that, okay, because British had friendly relationships, so he allowed British that you can open a factory at Hooghly. Now who is Shah Shuja? He is the second son. He is the second son of Shah Jahan. Next question. Which British agent founded the city of Calcutta in 1690? So before 1690 there was no city known as Calcutta. Fine. So what British did, that they bought three villages situated on the banks of river Hooghly. They merged these three villages, and that is how Calcutta came into existence. Slowly, gradually, Calcutta started to develop. So who was this person who did this? His name was Job Charnock. So what did he do? He bought three villages from local jamindars. He paid some amount, he bought those villages and made it British property, merged it, fortified it, built a fort, and that is how Calcutta came into existence. So his name is Job Charnock. Year is 1690. Three villages were bought by EIC, East India Company, and amalgamated, merged to form the city of Calcutta. Which one of these was not among the three villages? So as we just discussed, Job Charnock bought three villages. So let's see the name of those three villages: Sutanuti, Kalikata, and Govindpur, and this is river Hooghly. So he merged all these three, fortified it, wall, British property, and named it Calcutta, because here you can see the name of one village is Kalikata. So Kalikata became Calcutta. So which one of these villages is not mentioned here? Uluberia. So Uluberia is not part of this list. So answer is Uluberia. The English governor in India who was expelled by Aurangzeb. So what was his name? So you see, during earlier times, Mughals had very friendly attitude towards the English. But slowly, gradually, the English started to disobey the Mughals. So when Aurangzeb increased the tax, so these British, they refused to pay the tax, and the outcome was, we have discussed all this in theory. So the outcome was a large scale war, which is known as Anglo-Mughal War. Anglo-Mughal War. So this is the story of the same Anglo-Mughal war. So which English governor was expelled by Aurangzeb? So all the British properties were confiscated from Mumbai, from Calcutta. All the British properties were confiscated, and this English governor was, you can say, arrested and brought before Aurangzeb. So what was the name? His name was Joshua Child. Joshua Child. So there was a 4-year-long war known as Anglo-Mughal War. So this was fought between armies of Aurangzeb and British led by Joshua Child. So answer is Joshua Child. Which of these was the last European power to come to India? So as I already told you, French were the last one to come to India. Who were the first? Portugal. So if you talk about proper list, after Portugal came Dutch, after Dutch came Danish, after them came British, and last came the French. Who was the founder of French East India Company in India? So his name was Jean Colbert. So he was a French politician and businessman and diplomat. So he advised his government that if other countries are forming East India Company, why are we not forming? Why are we so late? So his name is Jean Colbert. So this company was formed in 1664. Fine. So on the advice, or you can say on the he took the lead. So his name is Jean Colbert. So now company is formed in 1664. So they start their operation in India. So the first French factory was established at Surat in the year 1668. So the name of that businessman was Francois Scarron. Fine. Next year, that means second French factory was opened at Masulipatam. So from exam point of view, for every European power, you have to remember which year their first factory was opened and what location. So French East India Company is formed on the advice of Jean Colbert in 1664. In 1668, they start their business from Surat. Remember, British have also started their first factory at Surat only. So student, I'd like to remind to you that this is our website. So we would request 2 minutes of your precious time. So it will be one of the best decisions of your life, because due to ongoing lockdown, the normal study mode has been disrupted. So many of you would be feeling that your preparations have been thrown off track. So you can do give us a visit. So you will find all sorts of online courses specially tailor-made for specific exam, because we don't believe in wasting time of students. So each package has been designed carefully, nothing more, nothing less. So next one. Where did the French establish their first factory in 1668? So as we just saw, Surat in Gujarat. Joseph Francois Duplat, or also known as Duplex. So Duplex was the commander of Dash forces in India. Answer is French. Because when French came to do business in India, they knew that they will have to fight with other competitors. So that may lead to war. So they had come prepared, they had come with a huge army. So this guy, Joseph Francois Duplat, was the commander of French forces in India. Which of the following was the headquarter of French in India? The answer is Pondicherry. So you would be surprised to know that even today, some citizens of Pondicherry, they have the citizenship of France, and election booth is set up there in Pondicherry whenever election is held in France. So Pondicherry remained their headquarter as long as they were in power. So French headquarters was at Pondicherry. Who was the first French Governor General of Pondicherry? So answer is Francois Martin. During the first Carnatic War, who was the French Governor General of Pondicherry? So let's understand something about Carnatic War. So there have been three Carnatic wars. So what is the concept of Carnatic war? On one side were French army, on the other side was British. So they fought three times among themselves. So they used to use Indian states as puppets between them. So three Carnatic war. First was won by France, the rest two was won by Britain. So this is the concept of Carnatic war. So during the first Carnatic war, French won. Who was the Governor General of Pondicherry at that time? Dupuy, Francois Dupuy. So who was the commander of French armies? The same person. First Carnatic war between British and French forces in India was an extension of which European conflict? Now you see, these two countries, France and Britain, their relations in Europe were also not very good. They had very hostile relations in Europe. So their politics in Europe had an effect in their politics in India as well. So the first Carnatic war was affected by some event in Europe. I mean, some political turmoil was going in Europe, which resulted in them fighting in India as well. First Carnatic war. The answer is Austrian War of Succession. So first Carnatic war, when in India first Carnatic war was going on, in Europe Austrian War of Succession was going on. So what was Austrian War of Succession? Austrian king had died. So his daughter wanted to replace the father. So on one side is Britain, on the other side is France and Germany. So Britain supports daughter. Britain says yes, you become. France and Germany says no, you can't become without our approval. So this is Austrian War of Succession. So this was going on in Europe, and in India this tension resulted in first Carnatic war. What was the capital of Carnatic? So Carnatic was a province on the Coromandel coast. So Carnatic capital was Arcot, very near to Hyderabad. Third Carnatic war between British and French forces in India was an extension of which European conflict? So as I told you that European politics affected Indian politics as well. So third Carnatic war. So when third Carnatic war was going on in India, just before that 7 years war had begun. So 7-year wars means between France and Britain. So they will fight in Europe for 7 years. So its outcome or aftermath in India, third Carnatic war is taking place. What was the outcome of the Battle of Vandy Wash in 1760? Now Battle of Vandy Wash 1760, also known as Battle of Vandavasi. So Vandavasi is a place in Tamil Nadu. So France and Britain, please remember, Britain has their strong base in Madras. France have their strong base in Pondicherry. Battle is taking place in Tamil Nadu. Battle of Vandy was. Future is being decided that which of these two countries will rule India. Do I need to tell you the outcome? Which ruled us for more time? Britain. So France was defeated. Britain won. Third Carnatic war ended. Third Carnatic war ended because of this event only, Battle of Vandy Wash. So year is very important. Who was fighting whom? France was badly defeated. So answer is British defeated. So this is correct answer. Name the French commander who was defeated in the Battle of Vandy Wash in 1760. French commander from France's side, Count Lally. Which of these countries captured Pondicherry in 1693 from French control? So as we know that France headquarter was at Pondicherry, but France was busy fighting British as well. So Dutch took advantage of this. Dutch, and from 1693 up till 1699 Pondicherry was under control of Dutch. So Dutch returned it after an agreement. So answer is Dutch. Which Indian king requested Napoleon to help to drive the British from India? Now this is very interesting. So Tipu Sultan, king of Mysore. So in Mysore, French armies used to have camp. Who is Napoleon? So Napoleon is the greatest military general of France. So in Europe, France and Britain are fighting. So Tipu Sultan is in touch with the French army. So answer is Tipu Sultan. So they had very good relationship. Army of Tipu Sultan, or you can say Kingdom of Mysore, had very good relationship with France, and Napoleon was from France. He was a military commander of France. So that's why Tipu Sultan had requested Napoleon that you give training to my army, you help me to drive British from India. So dear students, I hope you liked this video, because much effort goes behind making these videos, because we have visited past year question papers, we have selected it, we have arranged it in chronological order. So if you have liked these videos, dear students, just as a feedback, please hit the like button once, because it doesn't take much, but it gives great confidence to us. It acts as a feedback for us. If you do not like anything about this video, please do comment below and let us know that what improvements can we make, and in case you want us to make videos on any specific topic, do let us know in the comment section.